And welcome in to another episode of Just the Picks, the YouTube exclusive of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast, where we talk all things racing and give you, of course, just the picks. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Cody, we are a couple of days away from the first race of the Formula One season. Super stoked, sad about the F1 Gambling Podcast no longer being in existence, but happy that we can still bring you our picks for this race in Australia today.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I'm so pumped. This is the most excited I've been for an F1 season. We've had all of the changes, all the silly season stuff, driver musical chairs. Everything has switched around. A lot of storylines. Where's things going to go? Max says he doesn't know that they're going to be as good as they have been in the past. Is he playing coy? Who is going to be good? Which drivers show up? Who takes the next step? It's going to be a really fun season. And yeah, I'm glad we still get a bet on it, which of course we were never going to stop doing that, but and have found a way to get you the picks.
Well, yeah, and so testing has already happened, and you can, I mean, again, with F1, you could take testing and you can leave testing because there's so many different agendas and so many different cards that they're holding close to their vest that these teams don't like to show everything they have before the first race of the season. So when practice happens in a couple of days, we'll know even more, but we'll know even more, Cody, when we hit the Albert Park Grand Prix circuit. It is 58 laps around this 5.278 kilometer track, so just over 3 miles for 306.124 kilometers. Tell you what, man, it's the start of the season. Excited to see it. Like you said, so many different drivers in so many different places. We're going to talk about a few of them. So, Cody, I think it's time to get right to the picks.
That's right. We're here just for the picks, so let's give you the picks. A lot of these picks today, not going to back up with data as much as we have in the past because everything's changed. And so it's more going into this race, especially pre-week. We know in F1 odds shift massively more than any of the other motorsports even. And so this is kind of your opportunity to call your shot, claim what you want to claim, and get it before we see the cars hit the track. So I'm going to kick it off. Lewis Hamilton on the podium, plus 150. He's going over to Ferrari. It seems to me the pecking order should be McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, one of the two, then Red Bull, maybe. But you got to figure Max in there. Who knows exactly what we're going to get, but I'm pumped for Lewis to go over to Ferrari. And just to me, it's guy who's done it a million times, guy who's an all-time great, right? One of the best ever. Now he gets a new opportunity, a fresh look at things in a car that performed well at the end of last season. I think that's going to be great for him. So give me Lewis Hamilton to finish on the podium, plus 150. And then I'm going to also add in the winner without the big five. So you're taking out, of course, Red Bull, McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, and they still include Aston Martin in there for whatever reason. To be Carlos Sainz. Of course, he's left Ferrari. He's moved over to Williams. What is Williams going to have? Certainly the question. But no, not the question is who's the best driver of the rest. And it's Carlos Sainz at this point in time. So for him to be the best finishing besides the big five manufacturers, give me Carlos Sainz at plus 250.
Absolutely love both of those, especially Lewis. Boy, he is on a tear and ready to kick into it again. All right, I'm going to give you a number that you would not have gotten at all last season, and it's very, very rare that you get Red Bull at plus money for almost anything. This season, though, like Max said, we don't know what we've got yet because we've got a brand new driver in Liam Lawson taking the spot of Sergio Perez, who is now without a ride at all this season. So, look, I'm going to take Red Bull as a double top six finisher. Now, here's the part. When you look at the other guys around, the other teams around it, McLaren now is at minus 300. They are entering Red Bull status from last season, right? So minus 300 for both McLarens to have a top six, minus 250 for Ferrari to have two, and then there's Red Bull sitting right out there at plus 130. So I really love the value in getting this. Max is Max. Max is gonna max in this circuit. Although I will say he is a liability. In two of the last four races, he's actually finished outside of the top 18. But he did win this race in 2023, third place in 2019, sixth, fifth, a 10th, and a 13th. So, Max is probably going to end up in the top six. And if he doesn't, then something catastrophically bad has gone wrong for him. So Liam Lawson, the newcomer onto the scene, is going to be the one where we're trying to get a feel of what he's going to be. He's in Red Bull equipment. Last year in the RBs, right, the Visa Cash App RB team, he turned in two ninth place performances in a junk car. We got to say that car was so bad last season. I know we praised Yuki Tsunoda a lot for being good, but tell you what, that's not really good equipment. But for him to be able to pilot it to 2 ninth place finishes, I think a 6th place finish in Red Bull equipment is not out of the realm of possibility for this young, talented driver. His average finish last 2023 season in the 5 starts that he had was 12.2 in the AlphaTauri. So he's a talented guy, right? 11th place, 9th place, 13th place, all solid finishes in not good equipment. So give me Red Bull double top 6 plus 130.
A lot of questions about Red Bull. We shall see how it goes. I'm going to stick with your theme of young guys, though. Oliver Bierman, 5-1 to finish just inside of the points. He, of course, is going to race full-time for Haas F1 this season. We saw him on 3 occasions last year. Filled in for Carlos Sainz when he had his appendicitis and had a hell of a run, 7th place finish at Saudi Arabia, of course. And then he also filled in 2 races for Haas factory team, for a Haas F1 team. And he finished 10th place at Baku, 12th place at Sao Paulo. Really, I think we've seen what we need to see, right? At 5-1 for a guy who's got 3 career starts, a young kid, an up-and-comer, and he's been in the points twice and just 2 spots out of it. The other time he's been out there, he's already got some experience in this equipment. Of course, one of those was in Ferrari, but still, he jumped in and did his thing in the Ferrari. So you got to give him some praise for that. Oliver Bierman to finish in the points 5-1.
Gotta love those young drivers. Man, I'm so excited. There's so many of them this year that can definitely make a huge impact on the grid. So looking forward to that. I'm going to put a guy who has been on the podium several times, in fact, 9 times last season, back on the podium. We talked about him just a second ago. The winner without the big 5 is Carlos Sainz. Look, I think that could come from him being on the podium. 20-1. I know he's in Williams equipment. I get it. It's 20-1 to finish on the podium. And like you said, I mean, Carlos Sainz is a good enough driver to get this done. He did finish, like I said, 9 times on the podium last season. He had 2 wins in that Ferrari equipment. I get it. I know that's not huge, but he won here last year, right? Finished 12th the year before that. But a 8th place finish in 2022, 9th place in 2020 or 2016 rather, and then a 9th place in 2015. So it's been a pretty bad, rough stretch between 2018 and 2023 for him as he finished 10th, 20th, and 12th in those seasons. But that win last year, he led 52 or 57 laps of this race and just completely dominated the entirety. He started on the outside pole, won the race. Carlos Sainz, no stranger to a good run, no matter what kind of equipment he's in. So I, for one, think that he can get his way back in. And what a good statement this would be for Carlos Sainz to put himself on the podium in his first ride with Williams.
That's an understatement. That'd be a good statement.
that would be a fantastic statement. So yeah, Carlos Sainz, podium finish. He'll cash your bet of winner without the big 5 and a 20-1 on the podium.
I like it. Call your shot on Williams. Outrights, Rod, I'm going to Oscar Piastri plus 650 over on Bet365. Shop around. Lines are sort of all over the place when it comes to the outright market. The way I'm looking at this, clearly the books think, and I think everybody else thinks, that McLaren is going to be the top team, right? Lando, plus 162. Oscar, plus 650. Something's not adding up there. Yes, Lando has been the number 1 guy. Is that going to continue? I think that the jury could be out, but so far they've treated them as equals, right? They don't have a number 1 and a number 2. They have 2 number 1s. Whichever one is the one that hits is the one they're going to ride with. So when you're getting a lopsided odds on one of them, and as you know, big Oscar fan here myself, so I can't. It's too good to pass up at plus 650. Give me him. And then George Russell, 14-1 over on DraftKings. The torch is passed, right? Lewis is done. He's gone. He's moved on. It is now Russell's team, and this is a chance to make a statement. I think in the preseason testing, we saw Mercedes might have something, and if they do have something, it's not a question of which guy is it going to be. I don't think it's George Russell's going to be the guy. So 14-1, if Mercedes is the team that comes out and hits it right away, I think that the odds are great for him, and I think that's a good bet to be the winner. So give me Oscar Piastri, plus 650. You can get that over on Bet365. And George Russell, 14-1 over on DraftKings.
You talk about the kind of statement that Carlos Sainz is going to make if he actually finishes on the podium in a Williams. Imagine coming out and winning a race, your first race as the, I guess, principal driver for Mercedes. All right.
That would be, big statement.
That'd be fantastic. Sorry, I'm clearing my throat because I'm just trying to get it all in. This is the fastest we ever make.
It's a fast. We're fast as Xfinity Internet, right? Oh wait, we're not supposed to.
Wait,
Never mind.
the wrong show. All right, so you talked about him earlier. I'm going to wrap up with him as well. Lewis Hamilton plus 650 to win over on Caesars. Like you said, the lines are kind of all over the place on these drivers, but Lewis Hamilton, 8 pole starts on this track, 6 in a row for Lewis Hamilton starting on the pole in Albert Park. Couple of second place finishes. Oh yeah, 4 of those second place finishes, 5 in the last 6. Like, the dude has been right there every single time in the Mercedes equipment. Now he's in just as good equipment in Ferrari. I mean, I don't know why that trend is going to slow down. Last year he finished 18th here, but I mean, last year was kind of a rough year for him in Mercedes equipment anyways, and he was sort of already on the outs, but not officially on. It was just a weird season for him. So, I think it's a great way to start. Like you said, Ferrari has 2 number ones now. They've got Lewis Hamilton and they've got Charles Leclerc. So, I mean, these guys are going to be battling potentially for the podium, if not the win. And I think Lewis, now with this new lease on life, has the opportunity to come out and win a race again. He does have 2 wins on this track, so give him a third at plus 650 to win the race in Australia.
Yeah, I like it. Obviously, I mentioned be on the podium earlier. I really think we're going to see an injection of life in Lewis Hamilton this weekend, and really excited to see that this season.
Me too. All right, those were just the picks. We hope you enjoy the Formula One race this weekend. Obviously, a couple of days you'll be practicing. They'll be on the track. Keep an eye on all that. Adjust your bets accordingly. But here's what we like early in the week, and we hope you can tail and win some money this weekend. So we'll catch you back again with more of just the picks next week. And until then, he's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Let's go racing and let it ride.